You know him for the hat, the hand tucked into the waistcoat, and of course, the ultimate defeat at a place called Waterloo. But to understand this man, you must not look at his end, but at his masterpiece. It was December 1805. The morning air in Austerlitz was a thick, milky soup of Moravian fog. Napoleon Bonaparte stood on the heights, looking down at an Allied army that outnumbered him by 15,000 men. He perhaps looked over that Allied army, just like the scene here, with his spyglass. To the Russian Tsar and the Austrian Emperor, this little corporal looked trapped. He had intentionally walked into his own right flank. He wanted them to see it happen. He was playing the part of the desperate retreat. And the Russian Tsar and the Austrian Emperor took the bait. The Allies poured their strength into the weak right wing, and as they did, the sun began to burn through the mists. The legendary Sun of Austerlitz. It revealed that Napoleon had hidden an entire corps behind the valley below. In one swift, terrible stroke, he cut the Allied center in two. He didn't just want to win the battle, he wanted to dissolve an empire. Within weeks, the 1,000-year-old Holy Roman Empire was no more. But we feel the tremors of that morning, even today. When you look at a map of modern Europe, you're looking at the ghost of Napoleon's pen. He didn't just move borders, he moved mankind. He gave us the Napoleonic Code, the bedrock of civil law in over 40 nations and, interestingly enough, the state of Louisiana. He pioneered the meritocracy, the idea that a baker's son could become a marshal of France if he had the right stuff. He was a master of warcraft, as we see here, because he understood that battle is won in the mind long before the first musket is fired. He turned chaos into cold, hard science. History, they say, is written by the winners, but it is preserved by the craftsmen. And that brings us to the here and now. If you want to hold a piece of that tactical brilliance in the palm of your hand, not in a history book, but in fine gleaming metal, you look to the artisans of the Spectre's Mint, as I have here. They have struck a tribute in the era of empires in pure silver. It is more than a coin. If you look at the reverse of this coin, you'll see the man himself, the bicorn hat, the telescope in hand, surveying the field. Behind him stands the Le Grand Ami, France's elite guard, captured in detail so accurate that you can almost hear the snap of the standards in the wind. But it's the obverse where the story truly chills you, as you can see here. It captures that terrible, decisive moment on the frozen lake at Satchkan. You can see the ice shattering under the retreating forces of Napoleon's artillery fire with a precision that changed the map of the world forever. This is struck in 45mm ultra high relief, as you can see, with an antique finish that looks like it was pulled straight from an imperial vault. It's 2 ounces of 3/9 silver, legal tender, of course, for the island of Niue, as you see here. And if you look closely, and I do mean closely, a hidden numismatic Easter egg right up here. Napoleon's personal bee emblem, the symbol of immortality. And because you're a friend of this program, you don't have to pay the Emperor's ransom to hold this. Head over to the Spectre's Mint website today. Use the coupon code COC20 at checkout to secure your piece of history. It's a nice way to keep the Master of War within reach, as you forge a bit of your own legacy. Now that you know the act that made Napoleon a master of war, let's see if he's a master on our 60-point scale. Today we shall start with the reverse. We have Napoleon in the foreground, his gaze ever forward, as he raises the telescope to his eyes. His bicorn hat is a classic symbol of Napoleon, as well as his commanding staff's regalia. Once again, these are France's elite troops, and check out those amazing uniforms, weaponry, and standards. Every detail matched the historical records to my eyes. This is a fantastic scene, and because we have so much depth here with all this going on, it is still balanced, and it scores a resounding 10. We move to the obverse, we have a scene of battle. The French artillery are holding a perimeter, causing the weight of the war to be too much for the frozen lake of Satchkan. Using the landscape as a leading factor of strategy comes right out of the playbook of Sun Tzu's Art of War. It captured a huge victory for the French and solidified Napoleon as a master of war. So many beautiful, bold moments, but also a touch of elegance. Check out the Niue text up at the top. This is obviously the issuing nation, but the text is built into the mountainside in a way that if one is not looking close, they could miss it altogether behind the haze of the war machine. I also love the intentional way the bee is used in the 12 o'clock position right there. The bee was a symbol of Napoleon and industry, order, and hard work. We also see the fingerprints of this coin's creator as the Spectre's Mint logo found in the 3 o'clock position here. Such a legendary field to view upon, and it scores a awesome and obvious 10. Mintage is our next category, and such a legendary coin also hosts legendary mintage. The coin, as you can see, has a low mintage of just 500 worldwide, meaning that if this is on your bucket list, you'll need to get to it any and every chance that presents itself, which might include my email. It scores a 10. Now we move to the elephant in the room, cultural significance. Napoleon's life and career were centered almost exclusively in Europe, North Africa, and the Atlantic. Niue is a remote coral island in the South Pacific located in the triangles between Tonga, Samoa, and Cook Islands. During Napoleon's reign, which was roughly 1799 to 1815, Niue was largely unknown to the Western world. While Napoleon was reshaping the map of Europe, Niue remained isolated from the European influence. 1774, which would have been pre all of this, we have Captain Cook. The first recorded European sighting of Niue was by this man, decades before Napoleon rose to power. Cook famously named it Savage Island because of the fierce appearance of the local warriors who prevented him from landing. 1846, which is way after Napoleon's reign, we had the first successful European influence on the island, which was the London Missionary Society, which was 25 years after Napoleon's death on the island of St. Helena. So the only connection I can currently support is post-Napoleon. They very well might teach about Napoleon briefly in their schooling, but that's about all I could find, so it scores an unfortunate 1 out of 10. We move now to collectability. We have many elements at play that make this coin exciting for collectors. It is an extremely historic theme, which is a big check. It has a low mintage, another check. It has fantastic art depicting so many historically accurate elements, check. It's in an evolving series, check. Well, it really checks all the boxes, so it has to score 10. Uniqueness is our last category, and as mentioned in previous videos over this right here, Julius Caesar, Master of War, Napoleon is not unique in the realm of coins. Choosing a particular moment of Napoleon's succession of world domination, however, is highly acute in form and makes this coin hyper-unique. It scores a 10, bringing us to our final thoughts and score. Napoleon charges across the line at an elite 51 out of 60. This number would be much higher had a nation with ties to Napoleon, say St. Helena, issued it, but that is much out of our control. It is a fantastic coin by every measure, and many lessons can be learned from this iconic scene. It is a piece that should be on display and should be considered for any collector of historic themes within their stack. Thank you, as always, for watching, and please remember, until next time, to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.